Alright, it's time to do the Monday Crossword on January 19th, 2026. This one is by Peter Gorman, who's a longtime crossword constructor, and he's also the puzzle editor for some newspaper outlets. I think it's the Fireball. That's the one that he's the editor of. So he's the editor and also makes a few puzzles. So I'm excited to see what we have here. I don't really have much time today, so I'm not going to do a cross only. I'm just going to be solving this normally, but I'm not going to speedrun it really. I also kind of want to talk through my answers and my thought process with this. So it will be maybe, I would say around 10 minutes while I take this, how long it'll take me to solve this. Let's just go into it. Okay, let's see. It's a nice grid shape, package under a Christmas tree. And if we look at this one, there's a fill in the blank, which is really nice. Space on the Monopoly board. This one is go to jail. And if we look at the G here, that should give us a clue that this is a gift under the Christmas tree. Now I have some extra letters here. I'm going to start with this F because F is a pretty uncommon letter. Uh, Vampire's tooth, that should be a fang. And now I should look at here. Okay, so Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan. So I do know that, but if we don't know that, let's just take a look at this. Sign me up. This is a phrase clue, usually, because there's quotation marks. And because um, you're not allowed to reuse words in the clue and the answer, typically there's a pattern where if the clue has the word me in it, then in the answer it will usually be I, and vice versa. So you don't want to have both me and me in the answer and clue, but in this case, this one is I, so I think this one is I'm in. And what is this? Tiny, tiny something? In progress. Okay, this is ongoing. Let's see what else there is. Comedian Juan. That's one that I know. That's Ali Juan. And let's see what this is. Springfield is its capital. Alabama, Illinois. Might be, Springfield, Illinois sounds right, but maybe I don't know actually. Letters before omegas. That's an S at the end. Um, this, and others. I think smileys, because they are definitely all smileys. This makes me think it is Illinois, so maybe it's just ill. Bring into the mainstream is to make viral. Let's just look at something else. Google Maps options. I think it's routes because you get multiple routes and you would abbreviate it here. So RTE. Old fashioned butter maker. You would churn butter. So I think the machine would also be called a churn. USA, USA. For instance, that is an example of a chant. Going over here, I think that looks like it might be Hungary. Oh no, it's not. Movable joints as hinges. Let's see. In on is a as a trend. Um, high to or hip to. This is just an example of just one of those kind of crossword ish answers. Either hip to a certain trend, I guess. So UPC, that's the what most product packages have. I think that's the barcode number. And then this is Tiny Dancer. Let's see what this is. What this says. Capital of Arkansas is Little Rock. That's the place where the Little Rock Nine were from. The sort of the first African American students to integrate into a white high school. So it gave a thumbs up. This is a past tense. So this is okayed because that was is ed, so it's okayed. Surveyor's measure, I think it's an acre. It could be area. A second helping is more. Winter coaster. I'm guessing this might be a sled. It's coasting down it's coasting down a slope, but it's a bit of a stretch, I think. Caribbean island, and Chile is cool, so I think this is Curacao. Pete who directed Up. I don't know that one. Oh, novelist Verne is Jules Verne. Yeah, he's the one that wrote Around the World in 80 Days, I think. Martial Arts Studios is Dojos. And I really like it when they get these kind of cool letters. J is not very common either, and so it's a very nice hint when you get one. So you can usually quite easily solve the word that goes across. Finale is the end of something, and I still don't know what that is, but maybe if this I can see. Wins over with charm. So this makes me think that it's disarms. It's a bit of a figurative sort of interpretation of the word disarms. I think mostly because like disarming a weapon, like I don't know, the New York Times doesn't really like to refer to weapons. So disarms in the way of like disarming someone, like phasing someone. I think that's more normal, sort of what they would do. Bring into the mainstream is to normalize. There are a lot of letters there that tell me that. ED something. Firstborn is eldest. Then what is this? Former vice president is Al Gore. Midsection measurement is girth. Then TH over here. The final inning is the ninth inning. Then the spot to find a pulse is, I think it's just a body part. I think commonly the wrist. I don't know where else you would do, like the neck, the thigh. I don't think they even do the thigh. Chest. Oh, is it chest? Wait. Then what is this? Is it not wrist? I know you could take a pulse on the wrist, but also chest, so that's kind of tough. But element used in bronze. Okay, that's tin. Because I don't think there are any other elements that are 3 letters. So let's go with that. Oh, I do know this. This is Yuri. So it's Yuri something something. Oh, Yuri Gagarin? I don't know how to pronounce this, so that's kind of why I skipped over it, but my bad. Word before space or Mongolia is outer space, outer Mongolia. And small town? Song by Cougar Mellencamp. I don't know any of these songs. I know Elton John. Oh, I know Billy Joel, but I probably don't know this song either. Counterpart of quantity is quality. And this is a Q, which is nice as a Q-tip. Also, a big clue that we get from that. Letters before omegas. Could be a few things. Big coffee containers. Okay, urns, for some reason, always happens to be clued either as in, like, Grecian urns, or most commonly coffee. Sometimes you get, like, burial urns, I mentioned a little bit, but I've never really thought about urns in terms of, like, coffee mugs, or, like, the big coffee jugs as being called urns, but that's kind of what they are referred to a lot in crosswords, just for some reason. Factual, this is true. And then Indy for Indiana. And then this is Audi, the luxury auto. So this is size, which is just a multiple Greek letters, I suppose. Formal U is usted in German. And notoriously long lines might be in a DMV. X minus 1 I. So that's 7. And then ChatGPT, these are AIs. And it is a SZA. Nice. Let's see what else there is. Insults. When read as a verb, this would be disses. I suppose you could also have it be a noun. Auditions are tryouts. And then, what is this? Comes to light. What is this? Projects, casts, in terms of a shadow. Yeah. So biblical spy for Moses. I don't know. South American flatbread. Lesser played part of a 45 is a side B. Side A, side B. It could also be B side. I've more commonly seen B side. Let's see. Comes to light is arises. Spot for massage is a spa. Very common word. Allah at this in the style of in cooking you would have some words like crab a la king or something, or like a la mode, things like that. Draft pick is an ale, and I think it's kind of a I think this is kind of a standard question mark you'd have, because this is like something you might pick. It's a certain draft that you might pick. It's an ale. Yeah, I accept it. Let's see what else there is. Apt 9 for shriek. I think eek. And then what is this? Spark plug? I never really knew exactly what it was, what they did, but sure. Dark leafy green, I don't know. The Bruins. The Bruins are UCLA, I think. I was confusing the Bruins and the Tritons, but I think the Tritons are Davis? I don't know actually. Gently persuade is to coax someone. And this X, let's look at this. X. Test taken at the 24 at the DMV. Test taken at the DMV. Eye exam. I mean, normally it would be a driving test, but this X told me that this should have been exam, and then I'm just guessing you do take eye exams at the DMV. Sporting blade, okay, you see this all the time in these puzzles. Is epee, so it's a fencing sword. Biblical spy, I don't know that one. Let's look at this one. Held the reins. Okay, past tense. That's led. Oh, Caleb. That's a biblical name. Caleb. Baby. Baby. Uh, Jewel is a gem, right? Baby Grand. Baby Grant. Dark leafy green. And then what is this? Disheveled. So you is unkempt, I think. Then this is kale. And then in La La Land. I should have looked for these fill in the blank a little bit earlier. But this time I was just sort of going for trying to build off of previous letters I've had because they just give me a bit more help with that. I wish I could something that. I wish I could. What is this? Fork prawn is a tine. Oh, I wish I could unsee that. Nice. Airport screening group is a TSA, and this suggests that this is also the answer is similarly abbreviated. Then things shifted on a bicycle or in a car. Oh wait, I miswrote that. That's a tine. Okay, so gears. And then what is this? Pete Doctor? I don't know who that is, but let's look at this one. So, excuse me, and then biblical ark builder, Noah, and an ahem when you clear your throat. Okay, then what is this? Well, let's look at what the theme is telling us. So, capital of Arkansas is Little Rock, and a description of this, this, and this. So the first word is so it is a kind of like word. It's a synonym for little, and then the last word for is dancer, town, and then grand. I imagine. Um, and is it because it's like dancer rock, town rock, grand rock? I'll be honest. I don't really understand where this rock, how this rock relates to all of these things, but maybe is it because these are names of? It might also be that these are names of rock bands or something. I'm just gonna guess that's a D. I should have just guessed what that was before understanding the theme. But yeah, Doctor, spelled like this, is a last name, and apparently Pete Docter is I guess he's a well-known director. At least these are very famous movies, so that's fair. But I just want to figure out what is going on with this theme. So, is there a place called the Grand Rock Hotel? That sounds somewhat like I don't know. Um, Maybe that's a real thing. Grand Rock Hotel, Rock Grand. So somehow dancer, town, and grand are all related to the word rock, and I'm not really sure I see it other than perhaps these are phrases that contain the word rock as well. Or it could be my other guess was that there is that these are all perhaps names of rock bands that maybe I'm just not familiar with. I know previously there was a similar a similar theme where the revealer was rock bottom, and it was a pretty creative theme. So the lawn answers, the themers were actually all vertical, and when you had rock bottom written out like that, you had a few uh you had a few that were uh vertical that had the names of certain bands on the bottom, rock bands on the bottom. So one of them I remember was Drag Queen, and it was written like that, drag queen going down. And of course, the bottom of each of these long answers is a rock band, so it was rock bottom, and that was kind of a fun wordplay. And maybe that's sort of what's happening here. It's just that perhaps I just don't know these bands or these band leaders. Maybe they have like a single name, like a mononym. So I'm not really sure, but I'll take their word for it. And in any case, it was enough for me to solve this puzzle. So it's a nice one. Yeah, that's all I have to say.